Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Merry Christmas. Today is Christmas Eve and I thought, you know what, today I'm going to do a build. This might be the last video of the year. I'm going to try and get one more in because I'm not actually here. I'm going to be in Scotland in a couple of days. But I thought, let's do something a little bit special today. So I thought we're going to have a Christmas special today. So we are going to be doing a build. We're going to be doing the next 4 stages, and I don't think there's much to do in them, of the Hachette Partworks release, a build the Doctor Who Dalek. And I thought we'd cook a Christmas ham. Exterminate! That's going to be the most irrelevant mashup there is in any of the videos you've ever watched, but I thought, why not? Let's do a cooking show today. I can cook a ham. That's pretty much all I can cook, perhaps beans on toast. But today, as I said, we are going to be doing the Dalek. So I've got the parts up here. The only thing I really need is the frame that we were working on in the last pack. We're going to complete that today, and then really there isn't much to do at all, but you are going to see that for yourself. So I think what we're going to do to start off with, let's do that. Then I'll go into the house and explain what's going on with my ham. If you do want to get this for yourself, but even saying that, my mind sounds crazy. If you want to get this for yourself, in the video description is the link to the Hachette Partworks website. There's also the QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so in stage 47, we are going to be completing that frame that we've been working on in the last pack. So here is the instructions. And here's the parts for the frame that we need to just put in here. Just putting this on like that. So then we've got a full frame. I'm going to show you where this goes as well. But that is that magazine. So as you can see, stage 47 is the largest of the boxes that we get in this pack. Get this open, and I'll open all of these packets up. So the first thing I need is this base, which is labelled F. If I have it this way round so that F is upside down to me, I'm going to be putting some little details in here. And what I want is the connector, which is labelled E here. That's the first one I'm going to need. That's going to be going onto this unit just there. And then I've got a connector here, which is labelled F, which is going to be going onto this side over here. So they're in place. And what I need to do is lock them into place by putting one of these flange screws just down the centre here. So one there. These are HP screws. And one here. And then I'm going to be bringing over the frame that we've been working on here. And I'm going to be adding this to the bottom just here. So this is the F connector. Which slips on just like that. Once again, that's going to be held in with one of these HP screws. And then just bring over the final piece we've got here. And I'm going to put these together. So this goes in here like this. Line up this section here. And then I've got my last little connector, which is labelled C, which is going to go in there. Once again, I'm holding these in with the HP screws. So we've got 2 just for the connector I've put in here. And then 1 just down this side here. So this skirt is actually going to be fitting at the bottom of the panel that we created first off. So if I just show you what that looks like. This is how that looks, probably best on the side camera there. I believe this is going to fit perfectly around the inside just like that. Pretty cool. Excellent. But that, I'll show you on this camera, is all there is to do in that stage. So everything else now, I believe, is completely standalone. So this is stage 48. Didn't know what I was doing then. Wow, look, we've got a centerfold. Da, 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 da. My dad Ross's and the centerfold. Okay, let's go to the next one. So we've got the skirt section here. Looks like we've got some of these hemispheres that we're going to start creating now. Going to put this together. Not a lot to do, so it's looking like that. That's crying out now for a an AI song, isn't it? Stavros in the centerfold. Okay, get all this open. And you can see by the amount of stuff here, there really isn't much to do at all. All I'm going to be doing is taking one of these hemispheres and I'm going to be putting this into this panel here. Now it actually goes in the top, just this section here, so that the spokes, if you like, these are coming out the bottom. I do need to make sure this is lined up though, so that when I put these screws in, which is what I'm going to be doing now, let's just grab these, they are going to engage with that hemisphere I've got on the other side. So we need 4 screws to get these in. And if this is how we're going to be making all of these kind of hemispheres, you've got to remember how many are actually on a Dalek. We're going to be doing this a lot of times. A lot of times. But this is the last screw just going in here. You do want to ensure that they are in as tight as you can get them, so that you don't have a gap around here. But it looks like a reception doorbell at the moment, doesn't it? But that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 49, here is the instructions, looking like this. Oh wow, now the Dalek's in the centerfold. Okay. Sorry, I find that amusing. And we're going to do a complete repeat of what we've just done by the look of it. So that looks like that. So here is stage. I'm having far too much fun on Christmas Eve. You can tell it's Christmas Eve now. I'll get all of these open. Now, just so you know, today is Christmas Eve. It's actually, let me look. Look, it's 7:05 in the morning on Christmas Eve. I was up late last night starting to cook this ham, and I took a lot of footage of that so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But the reason I did that last night is so today I can actually cut the ham, slice it, and see what it looks like. So I can do everything in one go. It gives it time to, it's in the fridge now, you see, so cool right down. But there you go. So once again, exactly like we just did, I'm going to line up this hemisphere on here, and I've got 4 screws which we're going to be putting in. It looks like we've got some brackets as well here, which are slightly different. I don't know if they're labelled, so we can identify them later. Yeah, they have got a, this one's got a B on it, this one's got an A on it, so we are going to be able to see what's what. But once again, 4 screws in here. Let's get all those in. See, there's me thinking these are the hemispheres for the skirt. That's not what these are, and they're not reception bells either. I think these are part of the wheels, because they're calling them the rollers. It says, we suggest that you store the assembled roller in one of the paper bags supplied in the packaging. Label the bag part with 49A so that you can retrieve them at a later stage of the assembly. Obviously, I just saw a skirt section. I didn't see the little letters at the bottom which said roller assembly. So I do think this is going to be part of the wheels. Don't know how they're going to go. We're going to figure that one out later. One more stage to go, and that is stage 50 here. Let's have a look what we got in here. Another centerfold there with all the Daleks there. And we are doing another roller assembly here. Got all of these parts, putting them together just like that. And then it looks like we've got a motor coming in the next pack to start with. Okay, so we are now going to need these brackets that we had before. So first off, I want the bracket which is labelled B. And I'm going to be putting this side of the bracket just there. And then on this side, the bracket that's labelled A is going to be going this side of this bracket here. And I'm holding all of these in with these flange screws. These are CM screws. A little bit of oil on there because we are going into metal. And once I get the center one in, it will lift that up so I can get the other 2 each side. So it's basically 3 of these each side. Okay, this is the last screw just going in there, making sure that's in tight. So that's that bracket done. And then once again, we've got these little hemispheres here, which are part of the rollers by the look of it, which we're going to be putting these metal rods in here and here. Now, I'm wondering, is this eventually going to be going into here, which I'm guessing is going to happen to make some balls, and then we're going to have brackets either side, so then this is going to work like wheels. Very clever, but we don't actually put them together because that is all there is to do in that pack. See, I told you it was a quick one, so it means I can edit this video now and I can finish off my Christmas ham. I can't believe it. Can you believe we've jumped from sci-fi to cooking? That's what we're going to do now. Let's go in the kitchen and show you what I was up to last night. Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne and happy Christmas. It's Christmas Eve today and actually it's the 23rd today. It's going to be Christmas Eve by the time this video goes out because I've decided at 8 o'clock at night that I'm going to cook a ham. And I thought, well, let's have a break from building models and partworks and stuff and build Christmas dinner. The trouble is that if you go out on the 23rd and you try and get a Christmas ham, they're all sold out. You're not going to get one. So I did manage to get one. Unfortunately, the one I got is absolutely ginormous. I mean, look at this. This is far too big. I was hoping for like 2.5 kilograms. This is 5 kilograms. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is cut this in half. I'm going to freeze half of it so I can have it later on in the year. And then I'm going to show you how I cook a ham. Okay, so that means I've got to get into this and cut it in half. So I've got some scissors here. Let's cut this off. And I'm just taking a rough guess here. Probably there. Should be enough. I will weigh this. Okay, so I've got some scales up here. I'm just going to see how much this actually weighs. Pretty much 3 kilograms. Okay, so basically for every 450 grams, we cook for 20 minutes. So if my calculations are correct, we're looking probably about 2 hours, 40 minutes, something like that. This is going to need to boil for, and I don't start the timer until it starts boiling. But first thing I need to do is put it in a pan. Now this beast here has been in our family, whoops, for about 50 years. About 50 years, and if you have a look in here you can see some pitting at the bottom. That was caused by my brother-in-law firing his air rifle pellets into it. Loads of that, so obviously it made a ping when it went in there. But these are the sort of things that you'd find in the old schools and stuff. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting the ham in here, and I'm going to fill it up with water just in case there's a high salt content. I don't like salty ham, just to get rid of some of that. I'm going to let it marinate for a little while as well. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be preparing the stuff that I'm going to be boiling it in. So first of all, going to have some carrots. Lots of carrots, put them to one side, and I've got an onion. And I'm going to put this into quarters. Okay, bringing this back over, completely empty now. All I've got is the ham in here. I want to make sure that the ham is got the flesh part facing down, or the fatty part facing down. I'm going to be filling this up with my liquid of choice, which is apple juice. Now I normally used to use Coca-Cola, but if I'm being honest with you, I actually prefer apple juice. Now these are 1 litre, 4 litre will be enough for this. That will hopefully completely cover the ham. We're going to find that out in a second. So let me put all this in here. So that's how it's looking at the moment. Get the onions in there. And the carrots. And then finally, my secret ingredient is you'll find, even though this seems to be quite sweet, it doesn't actually soak in as much as you think it does. So for that reason, I do add some Demerara sugar. Demerara, I think that's what it's called. To make that really sweet. Now, important thing here is I want to cover this in foil because I don't want this to reduce. I want basically this apple to evaporate and then just fall back in here again. So I'm using tin foil for this. It's going to be going over the top just like this. Okay, you don't need to know gas marks or anything because all we're doing is bringing this to the boil. And then once it's brought to the boil, I'll be timing 2 hours 40 minutes. And hopefully that's going to be cooking pretty well. And the reason I've started this on the 23rd is so that on the 24th you can see what it looks like when it's actually cooked and I'm ready to slice it. I think that's where we're up to at the moment. So I'll see you in 3.5 hours. I don't normally put a glaze on the outside of it. I'm only interested in the meat. I'm not interested in doing anything too fancy for it. But I will show you tomorrow what that looks like. But the whole reason for doing all of this was so I can chat with you fine people about Christmas, because tomorrow is Christmas Day. And I normally have a Christmas message or anything like that just to say hi to the community. I want to thank you all for your support over the last year, and oh my god, the last few months has been amazing for support for absolutely everyone. Right from watching my videos, I think we've just hit 86,300 subscribers. Can you believe that? From a guy who just built a Millennium Falcon in a workshop, and where it's come now. Crazy. So I'm just sharing my little slice of Christmas with you. But I did want to give you an announcement today, but unfortunately it's slightly delayed. So it's probably going to be on New Year's Eve, something like that. So I'll be able to give you an announcement there. Don't worry, it's nothing bad. It's all good. Okay. Plus 2026, we've got some exciting things coming. We've got the Orca from Agora Models. That's going to be coming in January. I believe Agora Models might be having another announcement soon. I'm not sure. But they have got the Jurassic Park vehicles next year as well. I think next year is going to be Agora's year. Other than that, I haven't really heard of any other models coming out or anything. But I've got plenty here to be doing. I've got the Lancaster, and I was planning on doing this before I go away to Scotland, but I'm just not going to get time. But I mean, I've got the Lancaster, I've got the Dalek, I've got the John Wick Mustang, I think I've got the Megazord, I've got the Iron Spider. I've got loads to do. But I'll be honest with you, I says I've got the kiddies here now till Christmas Day, and then on the 27th, very early in the morning, we leave for Scotland, and I don't come back till the 2nd, which is a what is the 2nd? I don't know. 2nd, first, I think that's a Saturday. The first video is not going to be on the channel, and probably till the Monday, which I think is the 5th. The thing is as well that on the 5th, I'm actually going to be doing an interview with Chris, who was in charge of the Spacecrafts Model Show, which is happening on the 21st of March in Bicester. And we're going to be doing a live stream Monday night at 8 o'clock. We're going to talk all about the show, the Jerry Anderson competition that's there, all of that. So, I mean, there's so much going on. But I'm very optimistic about next year, but there are going to be some challenges next year as well. There's going to be a lot of changes, but you'll see. It will make a lot more sense in a week's time. So I've got my slicing machine here, and I'm going to start putting the ham into here, and I'm going to show you what this is going to look like. Just to give you an idea. Look at that. It's lovely. Let's try and taste it. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, wow. And there you go. How nice does that look? Oh, lovely. I hope you enjoyed that. But there you go. All that's left for me to say is, from me, my family, to your family, I wish you all a very safe and very Merry Christmas. Take care, everyone. See you later.
On the last day up to Christmas, the last entry to this song. So to say goodbye to everyone, I found you, Michael Long, who pulled up in his Pontiac, the awesome car Knight Rider that had the scanner seek on as it tried to catch the Mekon, who hitched a ride with Superman in a crystal form spaceship that encountered the house elf Dobby, who was wearing a Batman cowl that was given to him by a Dark Knight, who pulled up in the Batmobile to perform a robot scan that detected the droid Vincent that was fond of Partwork pizza, that was shaped as the Enterprise D, which had intercepted a radio call from the International Space Station, which had crashed into the Falcon that was chasing the Sprubot spy that was trying to kill a werewolf that chased me to a time machine that was sent to me by E.T., who called in the Ghostbusters, who arrived on the Ecto-1 to bust the singing alien that's lamenting about a great white shark. While the Titanic's being haunted by a possessed LaFerrari on a spinning space station. Holding an apocalyptic gauntlet, surrounded by a gremlin and gizmo, dead or alive RoboCop, and a Terminator